We didn't have enough space for her in the car. That's what my mother said. After I realized my 6-year-old daughter, Lucy, was alone at their house, while they were posting yacht photos with my sister's kids like it was some perfect family movie. I remember staring at the screen so long my eyes started to burn. No Lucy, no pigtails, no pink swimsuit, just smiling adults, and 2 cousins living their best life. I called immediately. "Hi, honey," my mom answered, bright and casual. "How's the trip?" "Where's Lucy?" "At the house," she said. "She's fine." Fine. Like she was a package they forgot to load into the trunk, not a child who still sleeps with a nightlight. The part that still makes me sick is this. Lucy didn't think she was being abandoned. She thought she was being loved. Because every year, Grandma Week was our tradition. I'd drop her off, she'd come home sun-kissed and chatty, and I'd tell myself, "See? It's fine." This year, she counted down for days. 6 neat little X's on her calendar, 1 for each night away. She packed her own backpack like a tiny grown-up, 2 stuffed animals, a flashlight, and exactly 11 crayons. "Grandma says I can draw late," she told me, proud like she'd just been promoted. I smiled, but my chest didn't. My parents were always great at the parts that looked good. The porch greeting, the grandparent performance, the "we're such a close family" vibe, the actual work, the sticky hands, the bedtime fights, the constant watching, that usually landed somewhere else. And Jenna's kids always got the best of whatever energy was left. Aiden and Sophie were loud, wild, always in motion. Lucy was softer, quieter, easy to overlook. Their town was only an hour and a half away, but it felt farther. Like driving back into an old version of myself I didn't like remembering. When I pulled into the driveway, Lucy was already unbuckling. "Grandma!" she yelled before I even turned off the engine. Mom stepped out, looking flawless, hand shading her eyes like she expected applause. "Well, there's my favorite girl," she said, arms open. She meant Lucy, not me. The cousins were already shrieking through the sprinklers. Dad hovered nearby, nodding at nothing in particular. Travis lounged with a beer, watching like this was entertainment. Mom kissed Lucy's head and turned to me like everything was handled. "She's fine with us, Alice. You look tired. Take the week. Rest." And for one stupid second, I believed her. The next morning, my husband and I left for our business trip, meetings we'd scheduled months ago to overlap with Grandma Week. That first evening, I called to check in. Mom answered on speaker. Kids were yelling in the background. "She's right here," she said, then passed the phone. "Hi, Mommy," Lucy said, breathless and happy. "We made cookies." I smiled into the phone. "Good. Be good for Grandma." Everything sounded fine, and that's what makes what happened next feel even crueler. And then, the next afternoon, nobody picked up. I called once, waited, called again, nothing. At first, I tried to stay calm, because if you panic too early, people like my parents use it against you. See? Alice is overreacting again. So I told myself the usual lies. Maybe they were outside. Maybe the phone died. Maybe Lucy was so busy playing she forgot to come to the phone. But by evening, the silence started to feel wrong. I opened social media, half hoping to see a photo of Lucy with cookie dough on her cheeks. Instead, I saw a yacht. My mom, my dad, Jenna, Travis, Aiden and Sophie front and center, all smiling like they'd been waiting their whole lives for this exact camera angle. The caption, "Family trip. Finally, some time together." I didn't even scroll long. I just looked for Lucy. Once, twice, again, slower, like the screen might correct itself out of shame. Nothing. I called my mom immediately. She answered bright and breezy like I'd interrupted something fun. "Hi, honey, how's the trip?" "Where's Lucy?" I said. "At the house," she replied. "At your house?" I asked, still trying to be reasonable. "Yes, dear." "With who?" My voice came out sharper than I meant. She sighed. That tired, irritated sigh. The one that says, "Why are you making this inconvenient?" "She's fine, Alice. We couldn't bring everyone. There wasn't room in the car." I felt my whole body go cold. "Are you listening to yourself?" I whispered. "She's 6. "Oh, don't be dramatic," she said. "We asked the neighbor to check in." "What neighbor?" "The one with the dog." "They all have dogs, Mom." She paused, like she was choosing patience she didn't actually have. "She's fine," she repeated. "There's food in the fridge." Food. Like a fridge could babysit. Like crackers could tuck her in. Like a locked front door was the same thing as an adult. I hung up without saying goodbye. My husband looked up from his laptop and knew instantly. "What?" he asked. I swallowed hard. "They left her." He frowned. "Left who?" "Lucy," I said, "alone at their house." For a second, he just stared at me like his brain couldn't accept it. Then his chair scraped back so fast it nearly tipped. "No," he said. "No. Call someone right now." "I'm calling Grandma," I said, already dialing. She answered on the first ring. "Sweetheart?" "Grandma." "They went on vacation," I said. "They left Lucy alone." Silence. Then her voice sharpened like a blade. "She's 6, she said. "What do you mean they left her?" "I don't know," I whispered. "Please. Can you go there? Right now. You're the only one close enough." "I'm leaving this minute," she said. I heard keys, movement, purpose. "Stay on the line if you can." The minutes crawled. When Grandma finally spoke again, she was breathless. "I'm here," she said. "I found her." My knees nearly gave out. "Is she okay?" "She's scared," Grandma said. "She's been eating crisps and crackers. All the lights are on. She said she didn't want the dark to come back." I closed my eyes and pictured my little girl in that house, wide awake, waiting. "I'll stay with her," Grandma said, "until you get here." And right then, I knew. This wasn't going to be one of those family problems you talk through. This was the kind you finally stop forgiving. The next morning, we got on the first flight home. Meetings, clients, deadlines, none of it mattered. I kept picturing Lucy in that big house, listening to every creak like it meant something, waiting for an adult who wasn't coming. When we pulled into my parents' driveway, Grandma was already at the door. "She's inside," she said. Her face looked calm, but her hands didn't. They moved like she'd been holding herself together on pure will. Lucy was on the couch wearing one of Grandma's sweaters. Her eyes were too wide, like she'd been forcing herself to stay brave. The second she saw me, she ran. "Mommy!" She hit my body like she was trying to climb back into safety. I wrapped my arms around her and didn't let go. "You're safe," I whispered. "I've got you." Behind me, Grandma spoke, low and cold. "They left her a note." She held out a scrap of paper. 2 sentences. That was it. "Be good. There's food in the fridge." I stared at the handwriting and felt my throat burn. It sounded so casual, like they'd stepped out for milk, like they were leaving a pet, not a 6-year-old. I walked into the kitchen and my stomach turned. Crumbs everywhere. Empty wrappers. Sticky juice trails across the counter, the kind of mess you get when a kid is hungry and trying to handle it quietly. On the table was Lucy's drawing pad, a little stick figure inside a house filled with yellow scribbles. Every light in the house was still on. Grandma touched my shoulder. "She'd been eating crisps and crackers," she said, "and she told me she didn't want the dark to come back." That night, Lucy cried until she ran out of tears. She wouldn't go upstairs. She stayed curled on the couch, clutching her stuffed animal like it was a life vest. Sometime near morning, she finally drifted off and whispered, half asleep, "I left the lights on so you'd find me." The next day, Grandma sat at the kitchen table with the note in front of her. "I can't believe my daughter wrote that," she said softly. My husband stood by the window, jaw clenched, hands opening and closing like he was trying not to break something. Grandma looked at me. "You always believed they'd change," she said. "Now you know." And that's when it clicked. This wasn't a one-time mistake. This was a pattern. It was my childhood replayed, only now the kid left behind was my daughter. My husband turned. "You're reporting this," he said. It wasn't a question. I looked down at the note again. "Yes," I said. "Today." Not after they got back. Not after they spun it into a misunderstanding. Today. The police station was 10 minutes away. The officer listened while I explained, and I watched his expression tighten with every detail. "So she was alone for how long?" he asked. "About half a day," I said. "But they left that morning for a week-long trip. They planned to leave her the whole time. I only found out because I saw the photos." He wrote slower now. "Unbelievable," he muttered. I slid the note across the desk. "That's what they left." He nodded once. "We'll start a welfare investigation." Then he asked if I wanted to stay anonymous. I shook my head. "No, they need to know exactly who called." Because I wasn't protecting them anymore. I was protecting Lucy. And the moment that report was filed, I felt it. Their perfect family image finally cracking. We drove home that night with Lucy asleep in the back seat. No one said much. My husband kept both hands on the wheel like it was the only thing holding him together. Every few minutes I'd glance at Lucy in the mirror, her face pressed against the glass, like she didn't trust the world behind her anymore. 3 days passed in silence. The kind of silence that doesn't settle. It stretches. Then my phone rang. "Mom." I put it on speaker. "What did you do?" she snapped. Not, "Is Lucy okay?" Not, "I'm sorry." Just pure anger. "I filed a police report," I said, "for child abandonment." A pause. Then Jenna's voice cut in, like she'd been sitting right beside her. "Don't lie, Alice, we're not doing this." They started talking over each other, loud, messy. "What did you tell Grandma?" "She's throwing us out." "She changed the trust. She gave the house to you." I blinked. "Wait, what?" Mom's voice dripped with sarcasm. "Oh, don't play innocent. The house is in your name now. How convenient." "I didn't know anything about that," I said, honest. "Sure," Mom snapped. "You've been planning this for years." Jenna jumped back in. "You've always been jealous." That word, jealous, landed like it always did, loud and empty. "Jealous of what?" I asked. "Being the backup kid? Watching Lucy go through the same thing I did?" That stopped them. Then Jenna said it. "You've destroyed this family." "No," I said. "You did that when you left a 6-year-old alone with a fridge." Click. They hung up. My husband let out a breath he'd been holding since the call started. I called Grandma. She picked up immediately. "I was wondering when you'd call." "They said you changed the trust," I said. "I did," she replied. "Why?" Her voice didn't shake. "Because I can't leave a house to people who thought that roof was safe for a child to be alone under." I sat down. "They think I made you do it." "They already came by," she said. "I told them to leave. Then I called my lawyer." I paused. "You're okay?" "I'm done being quiet," she said. "They won't come back. They hate effort more than consequences." That made me smile. "They're calling it elder abuse now," I said. "Creative," Grandma replied. "I raised that girl and even I don't believe her." My voice dropped. "Are you sure about this?" "I'm sure," she said. "Now promise me something." "Anything. Don't let them near Lucy again." "I won't." "Good," she said. "Then we're done." I hung up and just sat there, phone in my lap, heart still racing. On paper, this looked like justice. In real life, it felt like heartbreak, because deep down, I'd still wanted them to be the kind of grandparents Lucy believed they were. That fantasy was over. The next day, the storm hit. It started with a call from my cousin in Ohio. "I just wanted to check on you," she said carefully. My stomach sank. "Why?" "You haven't seen it?" I opened my phone and the notifications flooded in. Screenshots, links, tags. My mom had posted a long paragraph about betrayal, lies, and manipulation. Jenna followed with a cryptic line, "I'll never understand how someone can destroy their own family for money." And Travis, being Travis, commented, "TU elder abuse," like it was a brand deal. By lunch, my name was being passed around our town like gossip at a baby shower. I called Grandma again. "People keep calling me," she said. "Something about computers. They're lying about you." "Of course they are," she said. "Want me to see it?" "Only if you want." "I might as well," she said. "I hate when people get the story wrong." I drove over. She greeted me with one sentence. "Write down my passwords, in case this kills the computer." I set her up and pulled up the posts. She leaned in, squinting. "Good Lord," she said. "They used my wedding photo." She scrolled slowly. Mom's dramatic paragraph. Jenna's performance. Travis playing lawyer. Her hand trembled once. Then she nodded. "All right," she said. "Enough fiction." She looked at me. "Show me where to type." And she wrote, clear, calm, public. Yes, I changed my will and my revocable trust. I did it because my daughter and her husband left my 6-year-old great-granddaughter alone in a house while they vacationed. I found the child myself. No one tricked me. I'm not confused, I'm angry, and I'm done. She hit post and closed the laptop like it was a finished chapter. "There," she said. "Let's see them spin that." The internet didn't take long. By dinner, Grandma's post was everywhere. Mom deleted hers. Jenna locked her profile. Travis tried to argue in the comments and got eaten alive. 2 days later, Jenna showed up at Grandma's door with flowers and sunglasses. Grandma didn't open it. She watched from the window as Jenna left the bouquet on the step, and then threw it out an hour later. She called me afterward. "She brought carnations," she said dryly. "You don't apologize with carnations. That's like saying sorry with a parking ticket." For the first time in days, I laughed, out loud, because for once, the truth was louder than them. 6 months later, the noise faded. My parents, Jenna and Travis, moved out of the big house after their 30 days were up. They rent now, a small duplex near the highway. No more yachts, no more perfect captions, just rent, resentment, and reality. The police investigation ended with a charge of child endangerment, probation, a fine, parenting classes, no jail, but the report made the news, and the town remembered. Lucy? She's okay now. We visit Grandma every week. She waves from the porch before we're even out of the car. Lucy runs to her like she never doubts she's safe. We're planning a trip this spring, just the 3 of us. Somewhere quiet, somewhere sunny. Lucy's already packed 3 books and a swimsuit. And Grandma? She says she's bringing crossword puzzles and sunscreen. For the pale ones, she jokes. I used to think keeping the peace meant staying quiet. Now I know. Silence doesn't heal anything. It just lets people hurt you quietly. Some truths deserve to be loud, and some families don't fall apart. They fall into place once you stop holding them together alone.